welcome to Nerd Sports. And today we're going to talk that we're actually in the studio today.
Right. I'm like,
I mean,
like seeing you face to face over screens instead of through a screen. I'm like,
yeah.
And then on top of everything else, the sound in here somehow.
Yeah, I made it better.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's awesome today. The big news today, and it happened from what I'm gathering from the top news, is Max Scherzer.
Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer. He pitched for the Dodgers last year. Really thought that was going to be his best chance to get back to the World Series. They almost got there, except they ran into the Braves. He signed a 3-year deal with the Mets. This is a 3-year, $130 million contract with the Mets. Mets fans are kind of beside themselves right now, but in a good way, because their team owner is actually going out and spending the money, bringing in the talent. And now at this point, we just got to see if the Mets are going to be the Mets or if they're going to go out and actually contend. Because the Mets, they finished, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they finished third in their division last year. Actually, no, second, but they missed the wild card spot. But the Mets didn't even get to the playoffs last year, and they had, they had Javier Baez. Their infield was pretty stout. So they had some offensive pop out there, but they didn't have the pitching. They had Noah Syndergaard, commonly known as Thor, but he signed a deal to go out west to play for the Anaheim, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and they've been, they basically got rid of their stud, picked up the stud of studs, and then the Mariners picked up they agreed on a 5-year deal with the American League Cy Young Award winner from Tampa Bay, Robbie Ray. Let me see here. It's a 5-year, $115 million contract. There's an opt-out after the third year and a full no trade clause. So if Robbie Ray likes it in Seattle, he can opt out. He can decline a trade. Let me see here. He'll also receive an assignment bonus if he's traded after the first 2 seasons and does not opt out. The club has not confirmed the terms, which are pending a physical. Anytime that you're going to get like a free agent or a trade, there's always got to be a physical that has to happen first. Because
what is this physical?
You basically top to bottom 100 point inspection. Anything from blood work, MRIs, CT scans, X-rays.
Oh,
they're going in. They want to know
they're making sure
everything.
If he can actually play.
Yeah, they want to. They're going to check everything because you're going to put that much money on the line, and you want to make sure that you're going to get money on your investment.
Yeah, so they're going to do an oil check too.
Basically, yeah.
I wonder if they're going to use a camera.
I don't know, but. The Texas was making some big moves. More recently, the last deal that they did today, and this is huge. But they went out and got themselves a shortstop by the name of Corey Seager from the Dodgers. He agreed to a 10-year, $325 million deal. And I've stated this before, and I'm gonna just kind of throw this out there, and then I'm gonna move on. I don't like these big contracts. A lot of time on them, sure.
Well, you mentioned it so many times, though.
Yeah, I know, but it bears restating. So, 10 years, $325 million. Okay, so. The way that the math on that one breaks down, you're looking at, 325, let's just divide that by 10. So we're looking at $32.5 million tentatively a year. Now, I know that the way that the contract is going to be structured. He's going to get paid more for the front end, and then his pay would most likely be tiered down towards the back side. And that's going to be because at the end of a 10-year deal, more than likely, his performance is going to drop.
Yeah.
Now, he's being brought in for his speed. He's being brought in for his glove, and he's definitely being brought in for his offense. But, he's 27 years old. So he was the MVP of the 2020 World Series when they played in Arlington for the neutral site during the COVID season. Now, he led the Dodgers to a World Series victory with a 328 batting average, a 428 on slugging percentage, and a 1.171 on base percentage. So the dude was a stud, and in every sense of the word earned the MVP title for the 2020 World Series MVP. So good job on the Rangers. The Rangers are out there. For lack of a better term, I think the Rangers just got tired of being the punching bag.
Yeah,
and Rangers fans, they're going to get into this. They're going to get into a froth. They really are. They're going to get worked up, and you can put all this talent on the field. That's great, fine, whatever. But if your manager is not doing the things that he needs to do to manage the team properly, injuries, things there's a lot of intangibles out there when you try to build a super team like it appears that the Rangers are trying to do, because they also went out and signed a 7-year deal with Marcus Semien, who pitched for the Blue Jays last year. He's got a 7-year, $175 million deal. He signed that yesterday, on Sunday, with the Rangers. Rangers put out this cute little tweet, hope everybody is having a wonderful day, and then they start dropping all of these trade all these deals that they're signing. It'd be the first long-term free agent deal that the Rangers had signed since Sin-Soo Choo agreed to a 7-year, $130 million deal ahead of the 2014 season, and he is he played the last year of his deal last year. Mm-hmm. And he didn't really play a whole lot. I think he had a lot of injuries, but Simeon's 31. He's played 8 seasons at shortstop. Actually, he's not a pitcher. I'm sorry. He moved over to second base. So, they're building this infield that is just full of studs. And a lot of people are like, okay, the talent that they're putting together is basically kind of on par with the back-to-back world, American League champion teams of 2011 and 2012.
Okay.
Or was it 2011, 2012? I know it was 2010 and 2011. Okay, but when they had, I can't even remember who. Elvis Andrus was their shortstop. He's playing for Oakland now. You had a solid team, a core of guys put together for those 2 World Series teams that the Rangers had put out there. And unfortunately, they fell short, and everybody knows the woeful tale of their last World Series appearance against the Cardinals, when they just completely melted down and choked it away in Games 6 and 7 of that year's World Series. But Semien finished third in the American League MVP voting. I cannot talk today. Behind Shohei Ohtani and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Semien's going to be an upgrade, whether it's at second base or shortstop. It doesn't matter. He won a Gold Glove. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who won a Gold Glove at third in 2020, played shortstop for the Rangers in 21. But both Kiner-Falefa and Semien are both versatile enough to play either position in the middle, in the infield. And this is going to be something that the Rangers fans, their ticket prices are going to have to go up, pure, plain and simple, because with these 3 large contracts that are out there now, somebody's got to pay for them, and it sure as hell ain't going to be the ownership group. Ultimately they're the ones signing the checks, but just like with the Yankees, whose ticket prices are astronomical, the Red Sox, their ticket prices are through the roof. That's because you have to sacrifice something. You have to be able to afford to pay these guys to come in and play for your team to try to put a championship together. And the Rangers are making a concerted push to do exactly
I wonder how
that.
much it's going to cost to rent the field because that's where the barbecue competition in May 6th
Oh
is gonna
no,
be.
the field's got nothing to do with it because the field the field itself and the stadium that covers it is, I believe, it's owned by the city of Arlington. So it's not owned by the Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers are actually leasing that building.
Is that how it usually goes? Though?
Not usually how it goes, but because I mean, if you think, okay, so like, let's just say, worst case scenario, that attendance is just through the floor, nobody's going to these games, and it doesn't matter what team it is. And the team's ownership group decides, well, we're not getting the attendance numbers that we need. We're going to entertain the idea of maybe moving to a different city. And then all these other cities that are candidates are going to start offering up these ideas for tax breaks, tax incentives, and then on top of that,
Basically, like movie deals.
yeah, but instead of okay, we're going to pay you to star in our movie, they're going to be like, we're going to build this amazing stadium for you to come and play in our city.
Well, that's the reason why they didn't make a season 2 for Swamp Thing on HBO Max. Mm-hmm. Is because North Carolina, the place they moved, they had the studio there, and they built the studio for this TV show. They were supposed to give like a tax break of almost like 50%.
Right. Well, the Dodgers, who just lost Corey Seager to the Rangers, they're now looking at Freddie Freeman, first baseman for the Braves, as a replacement. And I don't see Freddie Freeman fitting in Los Angeles. If Freddie Freeman was smart, and I know that he is because, I mean, he's an intelligent guy, he needs to re-sign with Atlanta. I mean, the guy is rooted in that city. He's not a hometown guy, but he's, for all intents and purposes, homegrown talent. He was drafted by the Braves. He was brought up through their system. And he needs to, in my opinion, and in the opinion of a lot of Braves fans, he needs to re-sign there. Now, a lot of theirs is just because of nostalgia and because of, the fact he just won a World Series with them. But I think financially, and I think as far as his career's longevity is concerned, I think Freeman needs to stay in Atlanta because he's a good fit for the National League East. But I mean, there's just a ton. I mean, Trevor Story from Colorado. I mean, his name is being thrown out there now. The Mariners are in they're one of the teams that are rumored to be in on the Chris Bryant sweepstakes, so to speak. Chris Bryant was traded from the Cubs to the Giants halfway through the season last year, breaking up that that little core group of guys. Nick Castellanos plays for Cincinnati. He's rumored to be heading east. Javier Baez, he's in talks with the Tigers. Of course, Clayton Kershaw, he's been in touch. There's rumors that he's been talking to the Rangers. And Clayton Kershaw graduated from South Lake Carroll High School down in the Metroplex. So, I mean, that would be basically
Going back home.
He would go home, yeah. The Red Sox, they are, I believe they're on track to re-sign Kyle Schwarber. The Phillies are interested in him, but he's a good fit for the Red Sox. I mean, he plays well at that park. He was really coming into his own, learning how to play first base. Other than that, I mean, he's a natural outfielder, by trade. Mm-hmm. But they moved him to first, and I mean, the guy, I think he only had like one error for which is pretty good considering they dumped him over at first and said, hey, you're going to come play for us. We'd like you to learn how to play first base. But let me see here. The Yankees, they're all over the board. I mean, the Yankees are just a mess right now. I'm not going to get into that because, and obviously I'm biased, but whatever. Sonny Gray, I believe, went. Let me look here. Where did Sonny Gray go? Sonny Gray was a pitcher, or is a pitcher. Where did he go? Where did he go? While I'm looking that up, Wander Franco played 70 games. I went over this last week, I believe.
Yeah.
There was his deal out there. Sonny Gray. Pitched for the Cincinnati Reds last year. Somebody signed him. I can't remember. Anyways, but I mean, dude, this is an exciting time for baseball. I mean, yeah, there's no games being physically played on the field, but this is the hot stove season that they're talking about. You know, after the season's over, everybody's trying to get all these big deals and all these big blockbuster moves made, and they're trying to pick up the right kind of players to plug into the spots and the deficiencies that they have, whether it's the bullpen, the outfield, the infield, or behind the plate. Bolster their bullpens, build up their rotations, just get their offensive prowess up. You know, rebuild their defense kind of a situation. They're trying to get all of this done before the projected work stoppage on December 1st. Do I see us avoiding the work stoppage? No. Is it considered a work stoppage? Technically, yes, but with nothing being done on the field, there's no baseball activities going on. I don't consider it a true work stoppage. Just the players' union and the ownership groups, they got to get together. They got to hammer out this collective bargaining agreement. And once they get that done, as long as they can get it done well before spring training starts, pitchers and catchers reporting 2 weeks after the Super Bowl's over, fine, great. Get it done. Do it for the fan base. Do it for the fans. Do it for the game. I mean, the players and the ownership groups both have a responsibility alike to respect the game, to keep the game alive, because if they cannot come to an agreement before spring training starts, look for baseball's popularity to plummet. And you will start seeing these bandwagon fans jumping on one train or the other. Either I'm going to stay loyal to the game, and I'm going to look and attend any kind of baseball that I possibly can, or you're going to have those types of people where they're like, I'm done with baseball, never going to watch baseball again. And there was a ton of people that did that in '94 when they stopped.
Yeah, there's a ton of people that did it for football during the
in '94
apocalypse.
Right, but there was no World Series in '94 because when the regular season ended, that's when the work stoppage happened.
Yeah.
And there was no playoffs. There was no World Series. There was no world champion for the 94 season. And a lot of people were so turned off by it that when baseball eventually came back in 95, that they swore off of baseball. They'd be like, I'm going to go cold turkey. I'm going to just boycott the game. And there you've got a few holdouts, and they're like, but they're not true holdouts because they're still following the game. They're just not buying tickets, which, who cares?
Here lately, there's a lot of people that are trying to cancel sports. NASCAR did it in 2020. They try to, all because of that whole...
the news thing?
Yeah.
No, they weren't trying to cancel NASCAR. To me... That was Bubba Wallace trying to remain relevant, and that you can sit there and try to say, "Oh, well, it was a noose." No, it's a fucking garage door pull, and it was there last year, and it was like he walked in there and said, "Oh, I saw this," and it's like they've got cameras all over that garage, and there was no footage at all of anybody at any time going to his garage stall and tying a noose and hanging it from the garage door. Because if that had actually happened, they would have nailed that guy like to the wall. He would have been banned from the sport for forever.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably maybe even would have come up on criminal charges for like trespassing or even possibly a hate crime kind of a situation. They would have made an example of that guy. And I think that was an orchestrated controversy because they already had the shirts fucking pre-made. You know?
Really?
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, merchandise supporting Black Lives Matters and all this other bullshit that was out there, it was so readily available. It was not even bullshit. Funny. It wasn't even funny. And then last year he gets his first career victory because of rain, and it's like, no, they could have gotten the track dried in time, but instead they're going to call the race and hand it to this guy, and it's like, oh, whatever. I mean, I have no respect for Bubba Wallace. I mean, I'm sure, yes, he's got talent, and he can get behind the wheel of a car, and he can drive, and he's definitely doing something that I'm not allowed to do. Well, it's not that I'm not allowed. It's just that I don't have the opportunity to do because I'm not involved in racing circles. Okay, so kudos for him for making the most out of a situation, albeit it was a fabricated one, but don't look for Bubba Wallace to ever win a race ever again. And I'll put money on that all day long. So, but moving on from baseball and the little snippet about NASCAR, our picks for last week. We didn't do that bad, honestly.
Yeah. Now, it had to come to Sunday, but Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was brutal.
Yeah. I mean, Cowboys lost horribly that day.
I'm trying to get that page to pull up. For whatever reason now, the NFL page does not like. Okay, here we go. Yeah. All right, so no, it's not me. Anyways, fuck off. So let me go ahead. All right, so I was very optimistic. I wanted this win so bad. The Lions, I had the Lions picked to beat the Bears, and they damn near did it, but they crumbled when it mattered the most, and their defense let the Bears get within field goal range, and the Bears won 16-14. So it was a 2-point loss, but it's still a loss. I had the Cowboys over the Raiders, and I even called that score 27-21.
I'm still surprised at that one. I mean, it was like
Cowboys,
3 point. It was 3 points off.
It came down to 4 pass interference plays.
Yeah, and it was the
3
last,
of them by the same player.
Yeah, and it was literally the last quarter.
Yeah, dude, I mean, turn your fucking head around, get your eyes on the ball, and you won't get that PI call.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
there was one.
Why he was still in the game in the fourth quarter, I don't fucking know. I mean, to me, and a lot of Cowboys fans, why was he even in the game still at that point? Because obviously they were they were throwing to him for a reason, because the dude could not defend a pass to save his life.
Yeah.
But moving on. So the Raiders won that game 36-33. I want to say it wasn't over. No, it wasn't not.
It wasn't.
Yeah, no, it was an overtime win. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it.
So I had the Bills over the Saints, and the Bills came to play. The Bills beat the Saints 31-6 in New Orleans. So that was a plus for us.
It was one of those moments where it was like, we will crush you.
Oh, dude, the Bills absolutely showed up and showed out. I mean,
someone's dad died and he had to prove something. That's what happened.
Dude, that's crass. But anyways, I had the Bucks over the Colts. The Colts, they were playing a little chippy because they came off of that shocker win the previous week. But the Buccaneers and Tom Brady came in, and they won 38-31. I had Houston over the Jets, and the Jets went down to Houston, and Houston played like Houston. Even though the Jets tried their best to throw this game away, like 3 interceptions. Come on, really? So
you said Houston?
Yeah, Houston. Houston intercepted 3 passes.
Who did you say they were playing against?
They were playing against the New York Jets.
Oh, I'm fucking. So now I got confused with the Titans.
So now the 3-8 Jets and the 2-9 Texans. So that was a 21-14 game. Jets, Jets. You'll never hear me say that again. All right. So moving on, I had the Eagles beating the Giants. If the Eagles would have just stuck to a running game, instead of trying to pass the ball 40, 50, 60, 70 times, during the game, they could have won. Because the one touchdown drive that they did put together, they rammed it down the throat of the Giants. And the Giants did not have an answer for their run game. But because the Eagles, being the Eagles, wanted Jalen Hurt to get numbers, no. 7-13 New York. So that's actually 4 losses that we had on our picks. I had Carolina over the Dolphins, and then Cam Newton decided that he was going to be Cam Newton of old, He shit the bed. The Dolphins beat the Panthers 33-10. I had the Patriots picked over the Titans, and Mac Jones showed up to play, and so did the defense. Ryan Tannehill threw a ton of interceptions. I think there was like four interceptions that game. Anyway, so the Patriots won 36-13. Next, I had the Bengals over the Steelers. The Bengals embarrassed Pittsburgh 41-10. And then Atlanta over the Jaguars. That was a 21-14 win for Atlanta. I had the Broncos. Yeah, I had the Broncos over the Chargers, and that happened 28-13. I told you I'm picking the Packers over the Rams, and the Packers came to play 36-28.
Yeah, there was a lot of Aaron Rodgers just really busted his ass on this one.
Yeah, he did. He showed up, put in some work. The defense showed up and put in some work. Los Angeles. I'm going to go out here, and I'm going to say signing Odell Beckham Jr. from Cleveland. I think Odell Beckham Jr. is just a prima donna, and the dude is not backing up his mouth. He talks all this shit about being one of the best receivers in the game, and he's got all this, he's got those one-handed catches when he played for the Giants, but the dude just lately, he's just been phoning it in, and it's completely and totally obvious. I had the Niners over the Vikings. That one happened 34-26. And I had the Ravens over the Browns, 16-10. So I'm okay with the Ravens winning that one. And then tonight, right now, in the first quarter, Seattle and Washington, it's still scoreless. So
no, they got Washington got 3 points.
Let me look. I will keep.
First quarter, 3 minutes down.
Yeah, well, ESPN. Yeah, okay, so Washington 3, Seattle nothing. I've got Washington beating the Seahawks, so, hey, that field goal helps us out. But, yeah, man, I was... we had a winning record last week, so, I'm good with that. We are going to move into week 13. The season's already, there's...
Yeah, we got like 5 more weeks of
5
this.
more weeks, yeah, so...
Then we also... Are we going to cover basketball? Or basketball, sorry.
We'll touch on it.
Yeah, because the...
All right, so let's get into our picks for next week, and I'll post them here in the studio on our page. But
Cowboys and the Saints.
It's Cowboys and the Saints. I don't have a lot of faith. I don't have a lot of faith and confidence. I think the Cowboys are going to look. I mean, they need to win this next game.
Yeah.
And they're going to New Orleans, so I'm going to pick the Cowboys over the Saints. No, it's not because I have Cowboy jersey. It's not because my fiance is a Cowboys fan. It's because I think that the Cowboys are genuinely going to beat the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
Moving on, we've got the New York Giants at the Miami Dolphins.
I'd go with Giants.
Yeah, I'm leaning that way. God, that one feels like it's going to bite us in the ass, but we're going to take the Giants.
All right, Colts and Texans.
Hold on, I'm talking.
Okay.
Colts. The Colts are going to beat the Texans, so we're going to take the Colts over the Texans.
So Vikings and Lions. That's going to be a funny game.
Yeah, no, we're going to take the Vikings.
No, the Lions might have a gleam of hope, even though they're, man.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, we're going to take the Eagles. Take the Eagles over the Jets because the Jets defense is just absolutely deplorable.
Now, the Jets and Eagles, that's a rivalry right there.
Yes and no, because the Jets are an AFC team, whereas the Eagles are a NFC team. Now, if you want to talk about a rivalry, Cowboys and Eagles, they're in the same division. So, yeah. So when those two start to match up, I think either next week or week after, yeah, look for that to be kind of a dirty down bar fight. And it's not going to be like a barn burner, but I think the Cowboys are going to beat the Eagles when that matchup does happen. So we're going to take Arizona over the Bears. And then moving on, the Chargers at the Bengals. We're going to take the Bengals over the Chargers.
Did you already go over Buccaneers and Falcons?
I'm just getting there. Why don't you just pump the brakes there,
No. The reason why...
Dude, I'm looking at the same screen you are for next week's schedules. Yes. So just slow down, bro.
You skipped over.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No, I didn't. So just fucking mind your P's and Q's. Hakuna your tatas. Calm your tits. De-stress your breasts. Jesus Christ. All right, we're going to take Tampa Bay over Atlanta. Now, the reason why is because, well, Tampa Bay, well, I mean, it's Tom Brady. I mean, let's be honest. It's going to be, yeah, it's going to be brutal. Tom Brady is like the ghost that won't fucking go away. He won't. And he lives rent-free in Matt Ryan's head. He's vilified in the city of Atlanta.
Why is it villainized?
Because when Tom Brady won his last Super Bowl with the Patriots, they were playing the Atlanta Falcons, and they were down 28-3 at the half, and then the Patriots came back and beat the Falcons to win the Super Bowl.
Okay, I can see that.
So the Falcons are just another Atlanta team on a long list of Atlanta teams that have choked gloriously on the world stage. Moving on, we're going to looking at Jacksonville going to Los Angeles to play the Rams. We're going to take the Rams over the Jags. And the only reason why is, well, because it's the 2-9 Jags. I mean, Jacksonville is just an absolute nightmare right now. I mean, and I'm not talking about a good nightmare. I mean, they're their own worst enemy.
Okay.
Washington at the Raiders. The Raiders are feeling kind of chippy right now, and, well, Washington, they're going to win tonight, hopefully. But I'm going to take the Raiders over Washington. And then we're moving on to Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Ravens over the Steelers. And the reason why, I'll go into a little bit of detail here. Watching Ben Roethlisberger.
I still can't believe he's still playing.
Dude, he's about as mobile as, how can I put this? Don't help. I need this one. He's about as mobile as one of the stars of My 600-Pound Life. I mean, the dude lumbers around like a dump truck with 2 flat tires in the pocket. He can't flush out. He can't bootleg for crap anymore. And the guy just kind of, I don't know, he just doesn't act like he's got any power in his arms. So he just really, I mean, yeah, he can throw a dime still, but at what cost? I mean, the next 3-4 pass plays are underthrown, or he ends up taking a loss because he can't move in the pocket, and his offensive line is absolute garbage right now. So right now, it is a bad time to be a Steelers fan. They've got a tie on their record with the Lions.
Yeah. Quick question.
Quick answer.
What was that
it's
little...
7-3 Seattle. Anyways, go ahead.
What was the that little the little girl pageant thing on MTV for a while.
Here Comes Honey Boo Boo?
Yeah. Her mom on a stripper pole.
Well, her mom lost a ton of weight, apparently. It didn't help the shape of her bowling ball. It didn't help the shape of her bowling ball head.
Her daughter got most of the weight back, though.
I've
seen photos.
I don't really.
No.
I don't. Again, reality TV. I don't care.
Yeah.
I stopped caring about reality TV after the first season of Survivor. So there you go.
I really never watched reality shows. I even tried to watch that superhero show on Sci-Fi with Stan Lee.
Yeah, I
couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it, man. I'm just
Couldn't
like, and just the, yeah, just reality TV for me. I mean, for me, reality TV consists of how it's made, how the universe works, and like a couple of other mysteries of the abandoned and stuff like that. You know, like history shows. That's my reality TV. So.
Or Turn. Turn was actually a pretty good one.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily reality. That's historical fiction. It's yes, that stuff actually happened. So the entire series, the story for that series was based on a true story, but it wasn't based on actual events.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, so 49ers at the Seahawks. So we're gonna take the Niners over the Seahawks. I have a feeling that one may come back to bite us in the ass, but I'm going to go ahead and stick with my pick. Kansas City was off this week. They needed the rest. I think they're going to be coming back, and they're going to be playing. So I'm going to take the Chiefs over the Broncos. All right, and now the Monday night game for next week. This is going to be an important game. The Patriots at the Bills. Now, this is going to be either for a piece of or a cushioning for sole possession of first place in the AFC East. The Bills showed what they were capable of this week. Patriots, man. I mean, they have won 6 games in a row. So,
okay, who'd you pick for Giants and Dolphins? Again,
Giants.
You might be right on that because they could just. Well, I don't know because they just fired their head coach.
No, they fired their offensive coordinator.
Or the offensive coordinator.
And when their new offensive coordinator came in and put a new system into place and actually knew how to call plays. Then that's when they started becoming semi-relevant. So, I'm going to go with New England, and it's just because, and the reason why I'm going with that one instead of the Bills is, yeah, they're playing in Buffalo. Yeah, it's going to be cold, but it was snowing for part of the game in Foxborough. This past Sunday, so yesterday, but I think the Patriots defense is just killing it right now. I mean, they're absolutely killing it. Their offense is figuring out ways to win. Their running game is getting established, and their aerial attack. Mac Jones under center. I mean, there's people in New England that are touting him as the second coming of Tom Brady.
Yeah, but they do that every...
No, they haven't had any reason to look at anybody except Tom Brady for the last 20 years. So, but... Well, they haven't had any reason to look at anybody except Tom Brady for 20 years. But, and then last year they had the failed Cam Newton experiment. But, it just... Do I think that we're headed for a Super Bowl where it's going to be the Patriots versus the Bucks? I don't think so.
That whole thing just reminds me of Waterboy. Oh no, we suck again.
No. Oh no, we suck again. But And Seattle just had a pass interference call thrown against them, which that was a good call because the defender did not turn around. So we're looking at pass interference at the spot of the foul. 1st and 10 for Washington. 14-17 left in the second quarter. They are at their own 48-yard line. And here the ball is snapped. Pass over the... Ooh, oh, that was underthrown. Bigger than shit, but their quarterback was under pressure, so whatever. All right, so we're going to take those picks. And I'm going to... No, go away. Thank you. Swear to God. Copy. And then we're going to go over here to our Facebook page. Week 13 picks. Good Lord. All right. Hello, Facebook. I don't care about your notifications right now because I'm doing something. Scroll down all the way to the port where it says create post. Look at me. All right. Paste it.
Well, for basketball news, the Nets, Blake Griffin, he was removed from the rotation. This last season, Blake Griffin appeared to be on his last leg as he struggled to get anything going with the Detroit Pistons. But after agreeing to a buyout, Griffin signed with the Brooklyn Nets and was rejuvenated. All of a sudden, he was dunking with regular and putting together big-time performances in the playoffs. Unfortunately, Griffin and the Nets, that trend hadn't carried over. So apparently, he had a good season, and then he got paid, and then he's like, kind of want more money. No. That's a joke on that one. But I guess he's a one hitter. Once he transferred, he was doing good.
No, he was doing great when he played for the Clippers, and he was looking for a team that was going to give him an actual chance to win a championship, and he just kind of floated around and never really found a place that he fit in, which I think is kind of tragic. But I'm turned off by basketball news here lately because all anybody from the NBA or ESPN want to talk about is how wrong LeBron has been done. And it's like, you know what? LeBron's a punk ass. Yeah, he gave a pair of shoes to a kid at a game. He didn't even take the time to sign him. He just took him off his feet, handed him to a kid, and it's like, yeah, here you go. I'm trying to PR my way back into the good graces of people because he bitched out and had two people thrown out. I don't care what they were talking about or what kind of shit they were chirping at him from the sidelines. You are a professional basketball player, and I know that there was way worse crap that is said between players on that court. So the fact that you wanted to sit there and call out two white people sitting at courtside and having them tossed out of the game because they hurt your feelings, come on, bro. I mean, I think it's time for LeBron James to retire because this dude is just he's a walking punchline.
He is.
I mean, his career, his legacy is fading as fast as his hairline.
Well, okay. It's one of those things is we don't have the reference of what they were talking about.
Well, there's rumors of saying that they were chirping that they're hoping his kid dies in a car wreck. While that is a deplorable and inexcusable action, I disavow what they said, if that is in fact what they actually said. But the fact that you felt that the language used on the court was tamer than what those people had said, and then you want to throw on the crocodile tears that you were accusing so many people, to include Kyle Rittenhouse, for using, and then having the umpire or the referees and the arena security up there in Indiana toss these people out because they hurt your feelings? Seriously?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that personifies snowflake. I have no respect for LeBron James. The guy is not a GOAT. Yes, he's won these championships, but he's had to bring super teams together to do it. You know, and yeah, I'm in the camp where the one true GOAT as far as, well, I mean, there's not a one true GOAT. So, I mean, you want my Mount Rushmore of NBA players, and this is not all inclusive, but they include, and we went over this.
Yeah.
Irvin Johnson, Michael Jordan,
Larry Bird.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, these are greats, and these are guys that went out and busted their ass. And if they caught an elbow or a fist, or if they got cross-checked or something like that, and they got put on the floor, guess what? They got back up off that floor, they got in your face, and they rattled your cage the rest of the damn night. And then, on top of that, they're going to drop 40, 50 points.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, dude, come on, man. Really? I mean, LeBron is just an absolute waste of time, and everybody needs to, I'm not calling for a nationwide boycott of his jersey sales and everything like that, because, I mean, I don't really believe in the whole concept of boycotting somebody, because once the merchandise is already in the stores, it's already been paid for. You're just buying that piece of merchandise from that retailer.
Yeah.
Because the retailer has to put up the money to buy that stuff anyway, right? So it really doesn't do any good. So I mean, if you're gonna it's like somebody going out saying, "Oh, I'm gonna boycott Nike," and it's like, no, why? Because they support Colin Kaepernick? Just don't buy his line of shoes.
I told you not to use his fucking name ever on this show.
Okay, so Colin Voldemort.
Yeah, there we go.
So I mean, dude, it just don't buy his line of shoes.
Yeah.
Just don't buy things with his likeness.
Well, it's like the whole thing where I don't shop at Starbucks ever.
Yeah, I try not to. I mean, unless it's like the only coffee place around, and I'm absolutely dying for a cup of coffee. I mean, then only then I'll get my coffee black. Might have to throw half and half in it just to make it palatable, because
it's burnt.
It's burnt.
It's always burnt. And it's one of those things. Is the only reason why I don't drink Starbucks is because of that. I've only had like one Starbucks actually give me a good cup of coffee. I thought it was overrated when I was in Kuwait. No, I was in Bahrain when I got first Starbucks, and it was like that. I was like, this coffee sucks.
Yeah, I can choose to not patron a business. But I'm not going to sit there and rally against them. I'm not going to sit there and campaign against them. I'm not going to be like, don't buy their stuff. Because, I mean, one, that's just asinine. I mean, seriously, they're a multi-million-dollar corporation.
Yeah, we're not going to take them down. They're just not going to get my money.
Yeah, they're just not going to get my money. And if other people want to follow along with that idea, then fine, let them. It's America. Last time I checked, it's still spelled with a C, not a fucking K. So, we're not walking around calling other people comrade. Okay, so when I say America with a K, back in the 80s, there was a mini-series on TV where it was based off of a novel where America was spelt with a K, right? It's because the Soviet Union had sent people in, and they had actually infiltrated our government. And
I've never heard of this movie.
It was a mini-series. It was, the premise of it was pretty good, but it was just poorly executed.
Kind of like the King of the High Tower or something like that. The
Man in the High Tower?
Man in the High Tower.
Dude, yeah. I loved that show. Now, it could have ended a little bit differently. I mean, the finale was rushed.
It probably was.
So it's going to leave a bad taste in the mouth, like a bukkake party. But, there it is. So, yeah, see? Oh, you weren't expecting me to make that kind of a reference, were you? Well, there you go. But,
no, you did it last week, and I'm just not surprised.
Okay, whatever. But yeah, those are our picks. That's our takes for the week. There's our baseball news. There's not really a whole lot going on as far as like hockey is concerned.
What's the SEC?
What?
Okay, how are Texans and Oklahomans feeling about moving to
the SEC?
SEC.
The Southeastern Conference. The SEC. SEC. It's the perennial powerhouse conference in college football.
Okay.
It includes teams like Ole Miss, Mississippi State. It includes Alabama, Texas A&M, LSU. I know I'm missing a bunch of other ones, but
Yeah, it's
Tennessee, Vanderbilt, they're part of the SEC. But Arkansas is part of the SEC. Texas and Oklahoma, they're trying to break away from the Big 12 to move into the SEC because the SEC gets a lot of the greatest recruiting. And people in the Big 12 don't like either one of those schools, Texas or Oklahoma, because both of those schools have their own television networks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Longhorn Network. Oh, the Sooner Network. And it's like, Oklahoma lost the Bedlam game to Oklahoma State last weekend. Texas just got embarrassed. It just, the only upside that I see for myself and a lot of true fans of Texas coming to the SEC is that we're going to get to see Texas and Texas A&M play again.
Yeah.
Back when it was the South or the Southeastern Conference or it was the Southwestern Conference, and they used to play each other every year in the Cotton Bowl. But before I forget, Army and Navy both released images of their uniforms for the Army-Navy game today.
I was looking at the Army one that you did. It was the 9/11 one.
Oh, bro, that is a clean-ass uniform.
I've seen
the
that.
Navy
What was the Navy?
Navy uniform is it's their take on the Marine dress blues. Blue pants, red stripe down the side. You're going to have the red around the bottom of the sleeve. White helmet with the Marine Corps logo on the side. But it still says Navy across the front of their jersey.
Well, that's because of their Department of the Navy.
Yeah. So if you are a Marine and you're listening to our show, just remember your paychecks are still signed by the Department of the Navy. And starting next week, I mean, dude, it's gonna be, it's just be prepared because my Facebook page is going to have "Go Army Beat Navy" hashtags all over it. And just Navy had a dismal season.
You're gonna have to post that stuff in the those guys ones, because Kenny's CB Navy and Jason's Corpsman.
Okay, those guys. All right, here we go. Check it out. Okay, Go Army. Beat Navy. There we go. So shots fired. Yeah, so
the Navy uniforms actually look really good.
They do. They're clean, but dude, just that Army uniform, bro. And it's not because I'm biased. I mean that uniform legitimately looks badass. I mean the helmet with the 3-color desert camo on it.
Yeah.
And just the special forces markings all over that uniform, to include the 4 ODA groups that made up that task force that went into Afghanistan right after 9/11.
Yeah.
Dude, it is absolutely mind-blowing. And I'm really hoping that it snows this year. Because the last year, I mean, it's like, okay, so when the Army had their uniforms represent or pay honor to the 10th Mountain Division,
mm-hmm.
their uniforms were all white. What did it do that year? Snowed like crazy. And the running joke is because that was when the Army still had like the ACUs, and they were trying to make that transition back into like woodland camo.
Mm-hmm.
The running joke was, even among Army vets, was like, finally the Army got the fucking camouflage pattern correct.
That is true.
Shortly after, the Army changes their patterns, that the Sky Janitors are going to do the same thing. So it's like, and yes, I'm picking on the Air Force, but
yeah, go ahead.
But I mean, because you guys had like the digital tiger stripes for the longest time, and I'm sorry, dude, those uniforms were absolutely ugly. I would rather wear ACUs than that shit.
I don't know. I mean, you still have
the ACU was supposed to be the camouflage pattern for every environment, and it wasn't, except Grandma's couch.
Well, remember back in Vietnam, they were supposed to have the tiger stripes. They were the same thing for the desert ones.
Yeah, dude, but the thing of it is
but
that
the desert ones looked horrible, but the jungle ones looked
the jungle
actually pretty
tiger stripes,
decent.
yes, because it fit into the environment. You've got gray, blue, green, and black, and then you're going to digitize the tiger stripes.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Absolutely no. Just all. I mean, because anytime you have like TAC air controllers deploying with the what? What did I do?
Yeah, it's not what you did. You
What
gotta look
happened?
at the messages.
Ha ha. Oh, he unsent a message. You unsent a message?
Oh, I know what it was.
Oh, I saw it.
I don't know why he didn't unsend it.
Pussy. Oh, that's funny.
Well,
See, this is the type of. Even though we're talking shit to each other.
yeah. Hit the wrong gift. It worked though.
That's what she said. Anyway, so wrong gift, fool. Yeah, that just kind of worked.
Yeah, it did.
Anyway, so yeah,
Because it was okay. There we go.
There we go. Look at that. All right, so here's a Mobius GIF. All right, that's fine. But even though we're giving each other absolute shit right now, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's like we're still fighting for the same team. So
Yeah.
but and that's just it's like sibling rivalry. We can pick on each other, but anybody from the outside tries to fuck with us. Oh no, you done fucked up, AA Ron.
Well, what's really funny though, and I mentioned this when we first met, when we were doing that one, the first episode that we were talking to each other, and we were going back and forth. It was like, yeah, and what about the Coast Guard? It's like, well, no technicality, Coast Guard is part of the Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah, they are.
But everybody makes fun of the Coast Guard. It's like, that's a military. I was like, it's not DOD, dude.
No, absolutely not. No, they were moved to the Homeland Security. Now, still, yes, they have offices within the Pentagon.
Well, they have to. It's still Homeland Security still has offices in the Pentagon.
But and then they're like, oh, what about the Space Force? What about them?
You really don't hear anything from them.
You don't. They stay to themselves. They stay in their nice little dark rooms, and they stay in their server rooms, and
they hold on to their potatoes
and their tinfoil hats.
Yeah.
I get all that, but the Space Force is just Department of the Air Force.
Yeah, it's like having a Marine Corps.
No,
but even worse.
So the Air Force is what is to the Army is to what the Marine Corps is to the Navy.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we're going to classify what the Space Force actually is,
I would be upset if they don't have like Space Marines. That is my one thing in my life. I want to see Space Marines.
I want to see Space Grunts, dude. I want to see space shuttle door gunners, dude. I really do.
Oh yeah.
I want to see small arms being deployed on the moon.
How would that? Well, I've seen soldiers, so we know it is possible.
Yeah.
But I still
you can fire a gun in a vacuum. You just don't do it rapidly because you're gonna go this way. Your rounds are gonna go this way, and you're eventually gonna meet back in the middle. But
no.
We're not going to break down. This is not an episode of Mythbusters. Pump the brakes.
No,
see, this is twice in this episode you've stepped outside your lane.
The physics on that in space.
If you're on the moon,
no, even the
a round is not going to break the gravitational pull of the moon. You still need a rocket burn. You need a deorbiting burn of several seconds and several thousand pounds of thrust to break orbit from the moon.
Yeah, but it still will lose velocity because of the gravity.
Eventually, yes, and
but it's not going to make it back. Well, if you're going, okay, I see your point now.
There you go. All right, so see how we did that? We talked it out. You feel better? Can we start over? Can we hit the reset button now?
No, I'm grabbing the Bob Ross doll.
Where did Bob Ross hurt you? Show me where Bob Ross hurt you.
He hurt me right there.
Okay. All right.
Right there.
Well, bad on him. So we'll get a hold of Kyle Rittenhouse. We'll take that bad man away. Oh, look at Kenneth. Oh, so look at that. I'm just gonna laugh at him. Okay.
Okay.
Anyways.
No.
So okay, so
after this
we're
week,
getting
it'll
back.
be
Yeah,
one,
we're getting back to the whole what we classify Space Force as. Space Force is like the adopted Ethiopian child that Sally Struthers pimped on somebody.
we know it
that night
exists, but we
commercial.
don't really pay attention.
It's like for $1.50 a day, you can make a difference in this child's life, and they got the pot belly with the fly on their eyeball. That's what Space Force is right now.
I could see it.
And it's just because they didn't take the opportunity. I mean, legitimately. I mean, they took part of the Starfleet insignia and made it part of their official logo, right? You know, with the A, right?
Man, there were so many of them. I can't.
Oh no! I mean, you can let's do that.
No,
right?
there's so much stuff that I don't know what's real and what's not. What's official? I mean,
Okay.
can you go to an actual official?
Yeah. I'm going to send it to you right now, or you can look it up right there. And it says Department of the Air Force. They even got coins that you can buy. But there is a side-by-side that the Starfleet Command and the U.S. Space Force insignias, damn near spot on, to include the little orbiting satellite that goes around it.
Okay.
Now, they unveiled their prototype for the dress uniform. The fact that they didn't go with the red tunics from the Star Trek movies, I'm highly disappointed, man. I'm really highly disappointed. And if in 20 whatever it was the year that at some point the recruiters have to comb the country, and they have to find somebody with a college degree by the last name of Kirk and enlist this guy as an officer. And the day that he is made captain, the world will rejoice.
They already have a Captain Kirk.
They have a Captain Kirk already?
Yeah, it's in the Army.
In the Army, not the Space Force. They're high speed.
Yeah, but he can transfer.
You're a fucking space cadet. No, because they're not. I mean, he's a warrant officer, or no, he's a commissioned officer, but he's in the wrong MOS. They're not taking that MOS.
Oh.
They're taking cybersecurity
Dude,
guys and stuff like that.
Totally.
The day that they open up service transfers to the infantry, oh, you better believe you're going to have 0311s, infantrymen from the Marine Corps, and you're going to have grunts from the Army signing up in droves.
Oh, I believe it.
Oh, droves. And they're going to be like, yeah, we're going to go kill shit on another planet. Dude, the world will turn.
Okay, that's what it
correctly on
fucking
its
looks
axis.
like.
Yeah.
No. I'm looking at it, and you're wrong, sir. It's nowhere near. It's kind of Star Trek-y, but I'm kind of thinking Imperial.
No, Imperial.
Yeah, if you take the buttons off, it looks Imperial. I'm looking at side by side right now.
I said they missed the opportunity to do a Starfleet style uniform. But thank you for actively participating in this conversation.
No. I got that.
No. No, you just said that I was wrong because they don't look like it. And I was like, yeah,
And then I
know.
backtracked a little bit.
You backtracked a little bit, but not completely. So
Not
is that
completely.
is that like you trying to say, I'm wrong, but not really wrong because what? Really?
I'm out of here.
Okay. See? There you go.
But
Fucking check yourself before you wreck yourself, fool.
it does look kind of ridiculous.
It does. I'm like, oh, God, really? I mean, it's like, okay, so it's the uniform that you would wear if you get kicked out of the Imperial Academy and get assigned to what? The Senate Culinary Services Brigade?
Yeah, that's what another thing I was gonna say. It kind of looks like
It looks like a chef's jacket, doesn't it?
Yeah, I had to wear them.
Yeah. And it's like, what? Really?
Yeah, I mean, other than the blue stuff.
They just missed a huge opportunity there.
Yeah, they did. They could have. The person that designed was like, oh, well, it has to be this. It was like, fucker, I'm gonna do what I want.
I mean, seriously, they could have legitimately.
I mean, they could have so made it like, what was it? I mean, it kind of looked. I mean, they got like three sides. They got Battlestar Galactica on this one, and it actually kind of looks like Battlestar Galactica one.
Now, that's kind of ominous, don't you think? That these people that designed this uniform are thinking that the Space Force is going to be the last remnants of mankind, skirting through the galaxy looking for another Earth while being chased by relentless Cylons.
That would totally suck.
What the frack? See what I did there?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know.
Well, we're sitting about an hour and 30 minutes, so we can.
Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Yeah, so gonna go out on. I'm gonna go on record here. Go Army, beat Navy.
Yeah, we got one. We got one more week.
Yeah, one more week.
Not this weekend, but.
And then point of food for thought here, not point of, but food for thought. The Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl Committee has already extended an invitation to Army to play in the bowl game again this year on December 22nd. I'm going to go through VetTix to try to score some tickets for that game.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Because what I'm probably going to end up doing is, depending on who goes with me, we'll either caravan down there or whatever, but go to the game. Well, now we'll go to that game because we're going to drive back up here that night. And then first thing in the morning, I'm taking off and I'm going to Lake Jackson. I'm gonna go to Houston for Christmas this year. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get some tickets. I can get 4 tickets through the VetTix program. They're general admission seats, but I don't really care. If Army's is in fact going to play in that bowl game,
when is that game?
December 20. Oh, the Army Navy game.
No, that was 11.
The Armed Forces Bowl is on December 22nd. It's played down in Fort Worth.
22nd is on.
It's like a Wednesday or Tuesday or some shit.
I'm not gonna be able to make it.
Well, wait a minute here. Hold on, let me.
No, because the 24th is on a Friday. You're right. It's on a Wednesday.
Yeah, so it's on a Wednesday. So yeah, the 22nd.
Make it.
But I'm gonna try to go. Last time I went, I didn't go to last year's game because I didn't really care. But the year before, I was the only person in the entire stadium with a sign. And that sign said Epstein did not kill himself. I had a Medal of Honor winner, or a recipient rather. I had tons of Purple Heart recipients. I had a couple of Fort Worth cops get their picture taken with me. I was on random people's Twitter threads for that game.
That is fucking awesome,
dude. And then the Santa Claus for the Salvation Army was there. And he was like, I want my picture with this sign, but I can't because if it gets out and Salvation Army sees it, they will cancel my contract.
That sucks.
So, I mean, even some football players from Tulane, and I think it was Mississippi. I think one of the Mississippi schools was there playing. I mean, they were coming out of the tunnel, getting ready to start the second half, and they were looking over at my sign. They were like, hell no, he didn't. That bitch killed his ass.
That's one thing everybody's like agreeing on. We might not agree on a lot of stuff, but Epstein not killing himself.
Yeah, Epstein didn't kill himself at all. But hour and a half. So I'll have more information about the Armed Forces Bowl game coming up hopefully next week. But definitely. I think. We've got a couple of really big episodes coming up for the sports show because, I mean, we've got the Army-Navy game coming up. We've got the Armed Forces Bowl coming up. It's going to be, dude, it's going to be such.
Yeah, we can actually have some actual news on our sports show.
Oh, yeah.
It's been running a little bit dry.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just because everything's winding down.
Yeah.
I mean, Thanksgiving was Thanksgiving, but... past that, it's just been slow. I mean, baseball kind of filled in a pretty good chunk of our show this evening because of the contracts that were signed today.
Yeah.
Rangers just going out of nowhere and signing 3 big contracts. I'm like, good Lord. But, with all that being said, man, I'm Johnny Skelton.
I'm David Dickerman.
And thanks for watching Nerd Sports.
And thank you very much, Angry Faithful.